yell at me and they're like, dude, you need to talk louder. I'm like, if I talk louder, it's going to seem like I'm yelling at you and you'll get mad. I'm yelling.
I have a loud
There's
voice.
There's no in between for me. I'm either going to talk quietly or I'm going to scream at you.
Do you scream?
Sometimes I scream.
I haven't seen it very often. Are you rolling? Because we're already rolling, Peep.
Is it on?
It's on.
It's on.
You know what's cool about this, Bobbinz, is I'm getting so much quicker at this now that I'm actually recording my own music. I made my first song on Logic Pro.
Nice.
And it's a song about how I got laid off from a job I don't like, and now I got to find another job that I don't like.
Right.
Because that's America. That's life. And it goes, I got laid off from a job I don't like. Now I got to find another job that I don't like.
Nice.
It's kind of like a Devo song.
That's clever.
Yeah. So Bobbinz didn't know that the podcast was called SUPcast because Bobbinz is not on the internet. Bobbinz is one of the smart people that stays away from social media. Bobbinz stays away from... He doesn't boop. We call it face booping. That's something Ron made up. Bobbinz don't boop.
I don't boop. I don't gram either.
He doesn't gram. He doesn't boop.
I don't tweet.
He doesn't twat. He stays off the fucking net.
Yeah.
And but we got him in the van. This is SUPcast. Yeah.
Sup.
This is motherfucking SUPcast, episode 25. This is the silver anniversary of the podcast. We started this podcast in the year 2019 in this van. We are continuing into the year 2020 in the van. Here we are. And you know, when Allie, I was thinking, when we don't have that view screen, I look right into the camera.
Really?
Yeah, because when I record the videos on my own, I look at myself. So it's almost like I'm not looking at the people who are watching. I'm looking to the side.
I've noticed that.
I have to work on that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
Should you look at the people?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's more engaging if you're like looking right into the camera lens. Although, but
You're speaking with the person.
yeah,
To
but
them, talking to you.
but when we start the podcast, it'll get to the point where you and I are talking and it doesn't matter about them. But doing the intro, you know, we should engage the viewers because there are some viewers of this podcast.
Yeah.
And I did a podcast with Ron, and I also did one with Dron.
That would have been fun.
The Dron one was hilarious.
I bet.
Yeah, and the Ron one was good too, but the Ron one was definitely more serious, and the Dron one was just all.
Well, yeah.
Wait, have you ever hung out with them together?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, but when Don and Ron get together, it's literally there's not like 1 ounce of serious anything. I mean, we talk seriously for a second, but most of it's just like. Like at one point they had a bunch of different mics that weren't plugged in, and so we were just putting mics in each other's faces for like 30 minutes. It was weird. Yeah, I'm here with Mr. Rob Nichols, a.k.a. Mr. Bobbinz, a.k.a. Bilbo Bobbinz, a.k.a. Robbie Nickelsack, a.k.a. Robbie Nipple Scraps, a.k.a. Ploppins, a.k.a. I mean, he's a man of many names. And he was the drummer of Downtown Brown from the year 2011 until 2016.
Many years.
It was 5 years, right? I'm not good at math. Yeah, it's 5 years.
5.5.
It was a long time.
It's many years.
So this is my brother, Rob Bobbinz, and we spent many, we did, I don't know, how much time did we spend together? I remember
100 shows a year.
I was on mushrooms one time, and it was the Willie Fest where Mick Foley was there. And I remember I looked at you, I looked at Smeed, and I looked at Kevin Dumont, and I was like trip-faced as fuck. And I'm like, you know, I spend more time with you motherfuckers than I do with my fucking family. But I was on drugs and I was being all sentimental and shit, but ultimately what it comes down to is that's the truth.
True.
If you're in a band and you're constantly touring with someone, you spend more time with them than you spend with your fucking girlfriend, with your fucking mom.
They are your girlfriend.
Yeah.
He was my girlfriend.
Yeah. For real. I mean, I had a girlfriend for however many years that you were in the band, and I definitely spent more time with Bobbinz and Ron. And then when Ron couldn't tour as much, it was me, Bobbinz, and whoever else we could get on bass. But Bobbinz was the fucking solid number 2 dude. It was me and Bobbinz. It was always me and you, man, for the fucking 2011 to 2016. We had Durs on bass. We had Smeed on bass. We had Ron on bass.
Bob.
Harry Bob on bass. We had Jawma on bass. We had fucking million bass players.
Yeah, homeboy from Tennessee.
Who? Dave Graham.
Dave Graham.
Shouts out to Dave Graham.
Dave Graham.
From Chattanooga, Tennessee.
He's going to peel your fucking scalp. He's going to peel off your scalp and wear it like a hat.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, there was definitely... Yeah. We butted heads that one time. That was in Reading, Pennsylvania, when Dave Graham said, pretty much, he's like, if you talk to me if you disrespect me like that, I'm gonna fucking... What did he say?
He said he was gonna peel off your scalp.
Did you disrespect him?
In all,
you could say that.
In all seriousness, there was a time in my life where I definitely probably talked very... I don't know if it was condescending in a condescending manner, but in a way that probably seemed disrespectful. I was definitely all business. I was all like, I was so super focused on having this silly, stupid rock band like be a thing that I probably was pretty hard to deal with at times. Yeah, you can say that.
You were seriously serious.
I was seriously serious.
Too serious.
Yeah, I don't know.
There can be a thing.
It was a thing. But I also think Dave Graham is the type of dude where, you know, he might be looking for a tinge of disrespect in the way people, you know what I mean? There's some people there that are like
It's kind of aggressive.
Yeah,
He's an aggro dude.
He kind of aggro.
Yeah.
But that's the thing,
He's a great dude.
He's a great dude.
He's a sick bass player.
Yeah, absolutely sick
that
bass player.
Awesome green bass.
And
yeah.
but we had a drummer fill in last year, and he was another aggro dude. And for some reason, if there's like an aggro dude in the van with me, like, and it was Kevron. Remember when Kevron was fucking super angry that one tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw like what ends
There's
up
only room for one aggro dude.
Yeah, what ends up happening is if there's an aggro dude in the van with me, that aggro dude butts heads with me at some point. And that's when, Allie, you were at that festival where I wrote, I have a sensitivity problem on the email list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The reason I wrote that is because earlier that day, Kevin, I said, I think you have a fucking attitude problem. And he looks at me and he goes, well, Neil, I think you got a sensitivity problem. And that same tour, Bobbinz will tell you that fucking Kevron and Durs were about to literally get in a fist fight over an argument on Taylor Swift when we were trying to park the van that day.
Pro and con Taylor Swift.
But I talked to Durs later about that, and Durs said that the reason he was so pro Taylor Swift is because he just wanted to watch Kevin blow a gasket because he got so pissed off about the Taylor Swift argument that fucking Durs was just trolling Kevin.
It worked.
Yeah, because Kevin's sort of from the South. He's from like a border city of Kentucky and Ohio. And Kevin's like, well, if you want to fucking get froggy and take your children to the picnic, I'm about to get out a red basket, or said something weird like that.
Really?
Yeah. And Durs is just fucking trolling Kevin.
It was good.
I'm kind of peeking here. I got to turn myself down a little bit.
It was the day we played that Queen Mary festival
Yeah.
that you were at.
And
Yeah.
Allison was there, and I remember being in a weird, shitty relationship.
Yeah.
And Allison was showing me her Tinder picture, and it was her licking.
I wasn't licking, it was perspective shot.
It was a perspective shot. So there was a giant fat pig in its own shit on the ground, and then she puts her head up next to the pig using her selfie skills, and
we'll reference the picture.
Yeah, and you were what? You were like licking the pig's balls?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was your Tinder picture. And I remember
Got a lot of responses.
I'm sure it did, dude.
I remember telling Allie, I remember being like, you know, you're too good for that Tinder stuff. And I don't even know why I would give her any relationship advice, considering that I was on tour and the girl I was dating at the time was having sex with an open micer from Toledo, Ohio while I was on tour.
But you didn't know that yet.
I didn't know that yet.
Yeah.
But I found out the day I got home from that.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I found out the day I got home from that tour that the whole time I was on tour, she was fucking some dude that like sings covers at an open mic in Toledo, Ohio. And I was out on tour with Dead Kennedys and Fishbone. It was a humbling moment.
And can I mention, spoiler alert, that I met really weird dudes based off of that pig-licking Tinder picture?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's lots of pigs that want their balls licked.
Oh, yeah.
You also started dating that one dude after that show.
What, the camera guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched Allison's romance with that man blossom in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, while Dead Kennedys were playing, I was sitting there feeling all alone, and Dead Kennedys were playing, and I was sitting on the grass, and Allison and that little man were flirting with each other, and then they ended up living together. And now I live with Allison. It's such a weird world.
It's so weird.
Right?
Yeah, and here we are podcasting in the
not
van.
awkward at all. It's not awkward at all talking about it. Right?
No, it really isn't though.
That's good.
Like Allie and I,
We're open with each other's like partner or with our past partners.
we've just all fucked so many people that we're kind of like whatever about it at this point, you know. But we haven't fucked anyone else besides each other in at least a couple of years, which is nice.
That's good.
We're looking to add a third though, Bobbinz. If
Oh, is that right?
you play your cards right.
Oh God. Yeah. Neil's really been pushing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
With
we gotta get Bobbinz.
I'm like,
I won't really want to watch Bobbinz. Just go fucking all out on you, Allie.
oh God, stop.
Yeah, things are getting weird.
Yeah.
It's on you.
It's too
Sorry.
much, man.
Sorry. All right, we'll tone it down a little bit. Okay,
So
so
you guys are getting ready to do some gigs.
who? Downtown Brown?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, me and Phil and Jack. Yeah, I mean, this might be a good time to plug the gigs.
Yeah, talk about your gigs.
We're going to be touring starting Saturday with the band's TSOL, 1 gig with TSOL and 5 gigs with the band Guttermouth. And we will be at the Viper Room in West Hollywood, California on Saturday, March 7th with TSOL. And then starting 3/11, on 3/11, Wednesday 3/11, we'll be in Reno. And then we're doing a bunch of NorCal dates with Guttermouth. And you can get tickets for those at dtbmusic.com. So that's my plug for that, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you know, we're still doing it. We're not doing it hard like you and I used to do it, Bobbinz.
We did it hard.
Yeah, you can bring the mic a little bit closer
Yeah.
because you're not talking very
I don't
loud.
talk very loud.
But that's fine. That's why we have levels and whatnot. So Bobbinz, I remember. Well, I don't know. Where do you want to start?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, Allie, ask a question.
I'm just gonna interview you guys. All right, so I'm gonna interview you guys now. So I actually don't know, but you said what year did you join Downtown Brown?
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so it was a little while ago.
I'll let Bobbinz answer.
Okay.
Sorry.
It was in like the beginning of 2011, like January.
And
It was cold.
it was cold.
It was cold and dark.
Yes. Remember it like it was yesterday.
No, I do, for real.
How did you guys end up meeting? Was it like a live performance kind of thing? Like you caught them live or like
We used to play shows together
friends?
when
Okay.
I was in a band called Ouch Me Arse.
What was that band called?
It's called Ouch Me Arse.
Nice.
With
Yeah.
the exclamation mark, right?
With an exclamation after ouch.
Ouch, my arse.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Exclamation mark. Me
My
arse.
arse.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a fun, like pirate punk rock, sloppy drums and bass band.
It was a lot of
It
fun.
was a lot of fun.
So you guys would be like on the same bills
Yeah,
together.
we'd play the shows together.
Yeah, Downtown Brown would go to Lansing and we would play with Ouch Me Arse. And that's
Yeah.
how we got to know Steve and Heavy J
Yeah.
and Rob
Yeah.
before he was Bobbinz.
Before Bobbinz.
Bobbinz. Yeah. So Bobbinz was like it evolved. It started off as Rob, but then like once you're in the band,
Yeah.
who
Once
gave
you're
you
in the band,
name?
once you're in the band, Ron gives you a weird
Ron gives you
nickname.
the name.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Nice.
It has to be a natural thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But that's one of Ron's superpowers is the ability to give nicknames.
It actually kind of happened weirdly though. Not the Bobbinz thing, but Ouch Me Arse and Downtown Brown were playing a show at Tubbering in Lansing, and then somehow a rumor started that Don was going to quit the band and I was going to join the band. And then a
that
month
was a
later,
surprise,
Don
right?
quit the band and I joined the band.
But it was weird because
Yeah.
we were at that show and people were coming up to Rob and they were like, "So you're the new drummer of Downtown Brown," and we don't know how this rumor
happened.
started, and I had no idea that Don was gonna quit. So like neither of us had any idea that it was even remotely a possibility because Rob was telling people that night, "No, Don's the drummer." And I remember being just like, "No, Don's the drummer," you know?
Yeah, Don was the drummer.
And then when Don quit the band after we wrecked the vehicle, really what put the idea in my head to ask Rob here to join the band was that fucking night where everyone thought that he was going to join the band. So it's almost like it was like a premonition.
It's like weird.
It was
fate.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was like this weird mistake / premonition that came true, even though we had no idea how the rumor got started.
Is it almost like if the van had never flipped, then maybe Don wouldn't have left the band and Bobbinz might have never even played for the band?
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
So the van flipping was a key part to why Bobbinz is even here right now.
It's true. It's why I live in California.
Yeah, because
Oh, wow. You wouldn't even live here.
I wouldn't even live here.
Whoa. So, Neil, if you never flipped your van, Bobbinz wouldn't even fucking be
He
here.
wouldn't even live here.
here, can I have the mic back
Yeah.
to elaborate on this?
Wow. That's like some...
I want to elaborate. I want to
It's
elaborate
deep.
on this
It's
real
like
quick.
butterfly effect shit.
It is.
Yeah, because so in 2010 we flipped the van, right, and Don was with us, and it like he quit shortly afterwards. Like I got a new van, and I'm all like, all right, we're gonna keep doing this. But I think he really saw the writing on the wall, where it's like, okay, if you're in a touring band, you're pretty much rolling the dice with your life, because you're dodging semis, you know, a tire blows out, fucking people, you know, drunk people, ice, inclement weather, cliffs. Like, I mean, there's been times where we've been on sheer cliff faces. There've been times, driving around in Montana where we're driving down these steep, big, giant mountain passes.
Times we almost hit a moose.
Yeah. So Don saw the writing, and he's like, I'm out. And I remember he wrote both Ron and I. No, he didn't even talk to Ron about it. He wrote me a Facebook message and just said, I'm out. He wasn't very nice about it either, but I love Don, so it's okay. Sometimes, you know, when people are real with you, it can sting a little bit. So, but yeah, so the premonition came true. That whole thing that accidentally happened at Mac's Bar in
Lansing, Michigan.
In Lansing, Michigan, everyone coming up to Rob being like, "Hey, you're the new drummer of Downtown Brown." It actually happened, and I remember I talked to Steve. I remember before I even talked to you, I called up Steve King, and I said, "Hey, like, because that Tubbering show was Ouch Me Arse's last show."
That's right, it was.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was your last show, because you even advertised it as that on the flyer. It said Ouch Me Arse's last show, and so I called up Steve and I'm like, "Hey, since
It was an awesome show, too.
yeah, well, fuck yeah."
Yeah.
Rob Kleiner from Tubbering and Kevin are both out in L.A. I'm gonna try to get him on here one of these days.
You should.
Yeah.
Tubering's awesome.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was your guys' last show, and I called up Steve, and I'm like, "Hey, because we were friends. I just wanted to make sure it was cool. Like, hey, if I asked Rob to drum for Downtown Brown, are you cool with that?" And he said, "Fuck yeah." He's like, "But look, good luck getting in touch with them." And I said, "Why is that?" And he's like, "Let me just put it this way. He's got really baggy pants, so he can never hear when his phone's going off. But come, years later, he just doesn't
just don't answer my phone.
It isn't even about baggy pants. It's about he just is a fucking hard guy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Because he don't boop, he don't twat, he don't Insta. He's just, he's living life not digitally. He's in the real world.
I live the analog life.
Yeah." So Steve said, "Yeah, fucking hit him up." And then I don't. And Rob and I were reminiscing about when we first started jamming together. I remember I paid for a storage unit, and it was cold as fuck. It was in Lansing.
It was January.
It was in the middle of the winter, and so I would drive from Dearborn, where I was staying, to Lansing. Were you in Lansing or East Lansing?
Lansing.
To Lansing, and we would jam, just he and I, in a storage unit. He set up his drums, and I started just teaching him Downtown Brown songs. And
That's cool.
yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
Are you even allowed to do that kind of stuff in storage units or no?
No.
Probably not.
No.
You're not supposed to, but tons of people do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are they gonna stop the rock?
Yeah, right?
They can.
I imagine it'd be very echoey.
Yeah.
It was super echoey.
The sound's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know all about this. You know all about the storage unit. Just imagine the drum set and an amp in there.
Ooh.
At like night.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we would go there at night. We would go there because you don't want people are trying to get in their storage units during the day, but if it's 24-hour lockout, we would go there at like what, midnight or 11 p.m. or whatever. Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he would come sleep at my house.
Yeah.
On my couch.
Yeah.
And he would fart.
Yeah.
He would fart.
Really?
In his sleep.
Oh, wow. Oh, in his sleep.
Yeah.
All night.
So at the time, there was this Better Health store that was in Lansing. I remember being like, oh, the Better Health store they have, and I remember just buying this big fucking thing of cashews, and I literally ate an entire giant bulk size bag of cashews, and I just started farting, and I literally farted all throughout the night. I guess I totally gassed out the entire fucking apartment.
Yeah. My roommates complained about the guy farting on the couch.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got complaints.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Fart guy.
Sleep farting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. It was the birth of sleep farts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I fart in my... Allie, do I fart in my sleep these
You
days?
just fart when you're awake.
I fart when I'm awake, I guess. So, when I'm asleep, a little less.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I sleep through it.
Yeah, you are a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize for getting complaints.
That's all right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was the
was
winter of
pretty funny.
2011.
This was the beginning
Yeah.
of it all.
Wow.
And then... Yeah, do you remember meeting Ron for the first time? Or you already knew Ron from us doing shows
Yeah.
together? Okay. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
So what happened then? What happened after that? After sleep farting and...
We played that show and went on tour. We played one show at Howard's Club H, which is, of course, the, like, initiation stage for, like, all Downtown Brown members. And then we went on that first tour.
Yeah, for some reason, Howard's Club H in Bowling Green, Ohio, is where the new members of Downtown Brown always play their first show, whether it was Harry Bob or Ron.
Me.
Or Bobbinz.
I think Smeed maybe played his first show
Yeah.
at Howard's.
Yeah, it's like you join Downtown Brown and we play at Howard's, and it's like...
It's a great initiation stage.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that, but I think it just, yeah. It's coincidence. A lot of coincidence ends up being repeated for some reason in the history of this band. It's strange. You know? Howard's Club H. So what do you remember about that first tour? Because I don't really...
I remember staying on that person's couch in Montana. We played like some fucking house gig at I don't know, it was that like commune thing in Montana. Maybe it wasn't Montana.
No, it was Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it was the guy from the Zombie Bazooka Patrol.
Yeah, there you go. I forget his name.
Nick.
Yeah.
I remember I got a bunch of video footage. Oh yeah, and we played some gigs in Ohio because we were introducing Rob as the new drummer to the band. So I remember that first tour, we were definitely like getting a bunch of video footage of just him playing drums, and we were trying to like really document it, like vlog style.
Yeah, we played the one show in Ohio where we stayed at the bartender's house afterwards, and we went to the bar after hours, and we were getting all freaky on the bar.
Yeah, and there was that weird dog.
Yeah.
That was Wendy.
Wendy, yeah.
What's up, Wendy?
Yeah.
And that's where we did the interview. Like, do you remember, like, you were on the couch and we, like, had an interview? And it was before we had microphones or good cameras or anything. And you're just like, my name's Robbie Nickelsack. And I'm like, I like to play drums.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the whole interview?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that video's...
It has to be. It's the internet, right?
I mean, so a lot of that old YouTube stuff got wiped.
Bummer.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember about the first tour is playing the Viper Room.
Oh, we went all the way out west.
Yep, we played the Viper Room, and I banged that chick in Greg Schmidt's driveway.
Oh, that was the first
tour. First tour, Viper Room.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so
It's a good story.
Greg Schmidt he lives probably like a mile away from the Viper Room on Fairfax and Santa Monica in West Hollywood, and he's got this like really well lit driveway. and there totally are cameras there too, because his fucking landlords are like,
that's good.
They're really anal, and this is so. And I've known Greg since fucking kindergarten or whatever. Like I grew up with Greg. I stood up at his wedding and all that. And this is the first tour with Bobbinz, and he's like, he meets this chick at the fucking bar, and all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, he's like, I want to bring this chick over, and Greg's like, what? I mean,
Hey, I did bring her over, but he wouldn't let me bang her. He wouldn't let me bang her in the house.
so he went and banged her like in his fucking driveway, like you pull into the house and then there's like a little cove where the cars are, but like honestly, I want to fucking bet like $40 that it's heavily surveillance. And wasn't there motion sensor lights too back there?
It was pretty well lit.
Yeah, it's pretty. So yeah, Bobbinz scumbag moment. He's just having sex with a Disneyland employee on pavement.
Yeah,
like
it had to be rough.
in a pretty well lit fucking alley in West Hollywood.
It was a good time.
We still talk about that. Like
Yeah.
I don't see Greg very much. He's Greg. Shouts out to Greg Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Greg's got a good
Schmitty.
job. Greg has been married to Ann now since 2014. Yeah, 2014 was his wedding. That's fucking 6 years. It's crazy.
We always went to Greg Schmidt's house every time we came to L.A. We always would crash with Schmidt. Always. He'd always come to the show. And we'd listen to records.
And
Yeah.
it got to a point where Greg's now wife, Ann, had a shower policy whenever Downtown Brown came over because we'd be so smelly from the road just because we didn't shower very much. And she's like, okay, you guys can stay, but everyone in the shower. Like, and we all would have to shower like immediately after arriving there.
Like a bunch of dogs.
Yeah. Well, because we stunk like shit.
Well, L.A. is really far from Detroit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, I miss those days, man.
Yeah, it was good.
But, you know, we're still here. So Bobbinz joined the band. First tour. Fucking on pavement. Some dude that he just met. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's cool about Greg and Ann? Like, they weren't like, okay, you guys can't come over anymore. They just were like, they're like, Bobbinz.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you were Bobbinz back then.
I wasn't.
Yeah, they're just like, Rob, or whatever. They're like, Neil.
Yeah.
What is going on? I'm just like, oh, you know, rock and roll, man.
Free love, bro.
So, so if it was that Viper Room show, that was the same Viper Room. Like earlier in the day, we did that punk rock picnic. That was your first tour. You had that white kit.
No, that was the second tour. I had to be the second tour.
At Punk Rock Picnic.
At Punk Rock Picnic.
No, because we played the Viper Room that night. We did 2 gigs in one day.
I think that was a different Viper Room gig.
Okay. So maybe okay.
Because we played the Viper Room quite a few times.
Yeah, but that was definitely 2011. It was definitely still the first year you were in the band.
I mean, you may be right.
Yeah.
There's a good chance.
Well, so either way, we did play a Viper Room gig, but the Punk Rock Picnic is what is kind of like the Punk Rock Picnic in 2011 when we met Metal Mike from Angry Samoans is the whole reason that we live in California right now, because we met the Angry Samoans, and then after that we met Landon, who's the booking agent that convinced us all to move out here.
What was the Punk Rock Picnic? So the Punk Rock Picnic where I saw you guys for the first time was the one where Jello headlined. So when was that? 2011.
It had to be the year after.
No, 2012 was Fear headlining.
We didn't meet you on the first one.
I didn't meet you, but I saw you guys.
She saw us.
I was there.
She saw us.
Yeah.
She saw us.
I wasn't allowed to meet you guys until years later because Vinny would keep me separate from whenever you guys would do things at the studio for his reasons. He didn't want me to meet you guys. I don't know. He didn't want you guys to meet me. Yeah.
I had a conversation with Allison when you and I, Rob, were talking about moving out to California, and Vinny got super pissed because he's like, he's just trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't trying to have sex with Allison then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not yet.
But
That's actually a lie.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How was that a lie?
Because you were trying to have sex with her from the first day you met her.
No, I was smitten.
Neil.
It wasn't about sex.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you talking about? Don't throw
I
me.
like this. I like this.
Oh, I'm not talking about nothing, bro.
No, we would. No. Allie knows that we would. Every time after we met her in 2012, every time we would just pretty much be like, "Wow, Allie's so hot. And Ron especially was just like, she plays bass and she sings and she's into Frank Zappa. She's like the perfect woman. And and I joke too when I'm like, all right, I'm going to move out to California and I'm going to make Allison fall in love with me. Because that was always just a joke because I thought it was like an unattainable thing. But then I started noticing the kind of guys that she dates. And I'm like, I have a chance.
That's right.
Yeah, because she let's just say Allison dates guys for their personality, not necessarily their looks.
Aww.
So I'm like, well, I got a personality. Maybe I can, convince her to date me. And I didn't have to really convince her because it just kind of happened naturally. Like all the cards fell into place. And now she hears me fart.
I fart all the time and I complain.
You fart too,
about
though.
Farting.
No, we both.
It's so much farts.
There's a lot of flatulence at our pad.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Fart pad.
But yeah, so but no, because okay, so we're playing T2 at the 2011 Punk Rock Picnic, and I'm on stage and I'm like, we're gonna be at the Viper Room later tonight, and we were all stoked because Gravelton's Beach just came out. Gravelton's Beach had been out for like a year, and we were still touring on it, and so we had the label support. And then we were getting on shows like Punk Rock Picnic and whatnot, and we were doing like double duty in LA. I remember we came out to LA and it was magic. Like, at least to me. I just remember coming out here and being like, oh, this is where all my favorite bands are from, and we're actually getting decent gigs out here, and it just had this vibe, like it was like special. But I remember when we met the Angry Samoans guy. And then we did the Viper Room later that night, and but that gig is what set off us being out here. I don't know if you know that, because what ended up happening is the Angry Samoans guy, later on they wanted to tour out in the Midwest, and that guy's like an encyclopedia. Metal Mike from Angry Samoans remembers names and dates, and he's like kind of like a savant, like Rain Man, he's like a genius, but he has very strange social skills. To put it lightly.
Yeah.
But Mike hit me up with an email out of nowhere and said, hey, we want to do a Detroit show. So later on in 2011, remember the Angry Samoans came out before I went to Japan or after I got back from Japan, one of the two. And this was after we did the Gathering of the Juggalons. But that's how we got hooked up with Landon, and then because of Landon, we got on Dead Kennedys and we got on the Addicts, and pretty much we ended up doing the Dead Kennedys stuff out here in 2015, and that's when he started pitching to me like, you guys need to move the band out to California,
right?
And then I remember pitching it to Bobbinz, and I remember I was in my mom's backyard and I was like pacing when I was talking to you about it. And I also remember when we were opening up for the Dead Kennedys in 2015, and we were in that green room, and we got those steaks, and they gave us like hot towels, Yeah. And they gave us like fully comped meals, and we pretty much got like 4-star treatment. And I remember Bobbinz came up to me. He's like, you want to stay in Michigan because of your mom, but who knows? Your mom might live a really long time. He's like I remember that's what you told me that day.
Yeah.
And then Landon had us come in the hotel room. He's like, you guys need to move out here. And then Vinny is like, you guys need to move out here at the festival. And then we went and played in San Diego the next day before we got the thanks bitch. We got the thanks bitch steaks.
Right.
And I was floating in the ocean, and I remember just being like, maybe Bobbinz and Vinny and Landon are right. Maybe we should move out to California. Yeah.
And we did.
And that was 2015.
Did Bobbinz move out here right when... Bobbinz, did you move out here right when Neil moved out here too?
I moved out here before Neil.
Oh, that's right. You had like a little box car, right?
Box truck.
Yeah.
RV.
And you were living near Venice.
Yeah. Right over here, actually, like fucking 2 blocks from where I am now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you moved out here before Neil, and then Neil, you kind of followed suit.
It was all planned.
No,
Yeah.
we were.
We met up to do a tour.
We were on the road coming out here at the same time. Only I came in this van that we're in, and what Bobbinz did, he bought a box truck and he converted it into an apartment on wheels, and and fully decked it out so he could straight up like come out here and just save money
and live as a homeless person.
Well, a lot of millennials are doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they call it van life. You know?
I did a thing before it was a thing. What's up?
No, it's a hashtag on Instagram now. All these fucking pretty millennials, they drive their vans around, they deck their vans out, and they take selfies, and they're influencers, and that's how they make a living.
Wow.
Like taking pictures of their fucking decked out van.
I fucked up.
Yeah, you should have been on Insta, man.
Man, damn it. Again.
But yeah, I remember. So
I actually remember when I made the decision to move out here.
Yeah, tell me about that, because I don't know what was going on in your head. All I remember is I really wanted you to come with, because you were my guy. We had been through all that shit together.
Well, I was wrestling with it because it's such a huge decision. I had a lot going on in Lansing with the record store and all that shit. And then we came home from a tour after 5 weeks, and it sucked dick. And my
wait, what sucked dick? Coming home or?
Oh, it was a bad tour. It wasn't a great tour.
Okay.
It was just a long, rough one. And I come home and my fucking apartment's kicked in. Like, someone broke into my apartment and kicked my door in and ransacked the whole fucking place.
What?
And that's what I got to come home to. So I was like, yeah, dude, fuck this. Let's fucking go.
That's like a scene.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I remember when that happened.
It sucked so much ass.
That's crazy.
I remember when that happened, but I don't remember that being like a deciding factor.
Oh, yeah, that was what did it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man.
It happened twice.
So was that the tour where I came home and my girlfriend at the time was having sex with the open micer guy?
Maybe.
Yeah, it probably was the same tour, because we were with Durs and we were with fucking Kevron, and it was rough because we went all the way from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast and back in 4 weeks.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Do you think that was it?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, all right.
That sounds like every tour.
That would make a lot of sense if it was that tour, because we decided in the fall of 2015 that we were going to come out here, and we were out here by the spring of 2016.
Yeah. April 20th was my landing day.
I still have it already.
Really?
No.
Really?
No, it just happened.
Yeah, I landed in fucking California on 4/20,
Yeah.
man.
On accident. My anniversary's coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 years. Crazy.
Yeah,
4 years, man.
that'll be 4 years for me too. Except I came out here and
You went back and forth a bunch of times.
yeah, my dad died and fucking my mom had all those brain surgeries, and then I had the hernia.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
That sucked. But yeah, I remember. Okay, so we decided to come out here, and then in 2016, you got your box truck and I got my van, and so I decided that the way I was gonna fund my way out here was by doing a DIY acoustic tour with my friend Carmel.
Yeah, that's right.
And we were driving across the country, and we get to New Orleans, and I remember I got super sick, so I went to the free clinic or whatever, and urgent care, and they gave me steroids, so I was all like roided out, and it was weird, but whatever steroids they gave me like really affected me. I was like super aggro. It was a very weird feeling. I just remember being like super angry at the world. And we get to the bar where we're supposed to play that night, and there's a box truck and there's Bobbinz. And it's just like, oh shit, Bobbinz is here. So Bobbinz met up with us on my journey out west. Bobbinz, we happened to meet up with each other, and it was really weird because that coincided with our friends in Psychostick were on tour with our friends in Urizen, and our friend Rustin was hospitalized in New Orleans the day before that.
It was the day he found out he had his brain tumor.
Yeah, so our friend Rustin had to stop that tour, and he was hospitalized, and they had to run a bunch of tests on him, and I remember I actually went to visit him in the hospital, and we hung out with him even after that.
Yeah, at his place in Texas.
But he was really out of it, and he lost vision in one of his eyes, and he had like an inoperable brain tumor. So he was just on tour with his brothers in the band Urizen and the Psychostick guys, And it all happened to land in New Orleans. Like Bobbinz landed in New Orleans. I had a show there, and then fucking Rustin was at the hospital there because the tour went on without him, and he was just stuck there by himself. And I remember Carmel stayed in the van, and I went and I visited Rustin in the hospital, and he barely knew like who he was and what was going on. He was really out of it. And then he got the news that he had this inoperable brain tumor and that he was terminal. And I forget, what year did he pass away?
I don't remember.
But we saw him. He booked our band a couple times even after he got the news. Like he still like played shows and booked shows, and he was taking care of his kids, and he was he just like really still lived life like there was nothing wrong. He had to wear an eye patch at one point, but I just remember hanging out with him, and I was just like, this guy's like so fucking alive.
Yeah, and positive and happy.
Yeah.
Always.
Wow.
And then we just heard one day online that he passed, and it was like so heartbreaking because he had a family, and he just had all these people that loved him, and he was our friend, and he just seemed, but the last time we just saw him, and he was like fucking, he's this big fucking loudmouth, like super alive, like when Rustin's in the room because he literally lights up the room with how loud and alive he is, like his energy. And fuck yeah, that was such a pivotal point in his life, and just for us all to be down there at the same time was just such a weird coincidence. It's one of those other weird coincidences that happen with us,
right?
Just happen to be in certain places at certain times, and then it ended up like being the beginning of someone else's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw you guys play with them at the Mint.
You did.
Yours, and
Yeah.
and that was
And
2015.
Psycho Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
There's a photo of
There's like a big blow up like dinosaur or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a photo of all of us in front of our merch booth, like Allie, and I remember.
That was a pivotal show for me because that's when I met the people here in LA that I ended up getting my whole new life from when I came back here.
That show.
Yeah, from that show.
Explain
Crazy, dude.
explain that time where you were in Venice.
So I landed in LA like 2 weeks, right? And me and Casey, our friend Casey from Fishbone, we were at the bar, and these random people come up to me and they ask, "Are you Bobbinz from Downtown Brown?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, "Oh, we saw you at that Mint show," and we just start talking and whatnot, and homeboy ends up being the manager of this hydro store, and then I start working there, and it fucking was the beginning of my whole new life here in LA. Just from that one show at the Mint, that one random show. Meeting these random people who I didn't remember. We smoked a bunch of weed after the show, and I fucking don't remember. Mm-hmm. They remembered. They recognized me. It was like 2 years later.
So think about this. It
led to so many things.
Yeah, it all started with flipping the van and a fucking weird rumor.
Yeah.
That we totally laughed at because we just thought it was so far-fetched, and it goes from that to hundreds of shows a year with this dude to fucking his apartment gets breaking into, and then a chance show, and he just happens to be in Venice, and then he gets a fucking job just based on the fact that he played some show in LA and some guy recognized him. Like, life is weird. It's all interconnected. I'm with Allie.
Hey, if you never go on the journey, you'll never fucking see where it ends, man.
Yeah.
So
you gotta go though.
You have to go.
So are you glad you went?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hell yeah,
So-
man. What's up?
Right? Are you glad you went?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have the friends that I have, and I wouldn't have the stories, and I wouldn't have the tales, and I definitely wouldn't be living in Long Beach, California if I wouldn't have taken the journey.
No.
And I wouldn't be dating my dream woman. that we wouldn't be eating bowls of fucking tomato sauce.
And,
It's so
and mussels.
Oh, I mean, the mussels are good, but it's just too much. Like, my uncle had this thing with tomato sauce where if he ate tomato sauce, he like had really bad gastrointestinal
Well, it's really
issues.
acidic, man.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of people can't do it.
I can't do it anymore, Allie.
Can't really do
I
it.
love you, Allie, but I can't fucking do the tomato sauce. So, flash forward. So, okay. And then that was, 2016 we were here. And then it got to a point really where, so you had this job at the hydro place, but we were still trying to do the thing where we were touring all the time. And I think the reality of being out here, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, is that if living in Michigan and touring all the time and being able to make it work, the cost of living is way lower. But out here, like if you don't want to live in a van, you pretty much have to just work and not tour as much unless you're in like some big band that actually pay you.
Right.
Plus, you were burnt out, right?
Yeah, it'd been a long time.
5 years in a van with this guy.
Well, I got a good opportunity, and I saw it for what it was, and, I had to go with it. It's really kind of what it came down to.
When
well.
Bobbinz called me and told me he didn't want to be in downtown Brown anymore, I remember, like, he just said, in his exact words, he's like, I just don't want to live in a bar anymore. And I, like, wasn't even mad. I'm just like, I really can't argue with that. That's exactly what I said to him. I mean, I didn't yell at you. I didn't.
No, it was pretty civil.
Because we used to butt heads when we were in the band together. And things would get loud, things would get heated. But when he left the band, I just was like, yeah. It's like, I can't. How can you argue with someone being like, I don't want to live in a bar anymore? Because, I mean, how many times when we were driving around would I just be like, fucking, why are we even doing this? Would I question it? Would I bitch about it? You know what I mean? It's like it's not an easy lifestyle to maintain for fucking 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
You know, if you want to stay sane. And plus the band wasn't really getting any bigger. You know what I mean? Like, we put all this work and we played all these shows, and then we would go back to some of these fucking cities and there would be like less people there than were there the fucking last time we were there. Like,
Right.
it actually, some cities, it like got worse the longer we went.
Yeah.
When you would think it would get better every time you go, more people, they would
That's
be more.
how it's supposed to work.
It just,
That's what they kept telling us anyway. They're like, no, just keep playing, just keep going back, man, and it'll get better.
yeah.
And it didn't.
Our management and our label, they're just like, yeah, just pretend it's the 90s and just live in a van and just keep playing.
You need an email list.
Yeah.
I have one.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, okay. You need an email list.
Fucking email. Do you guys have an email list?
Yeah, there's 1,600 people on it. But if you look at the numbers, how many of those people actually open it up?
You gotta check that email. I don't fucking check email.
Yeah, Bobbinz don't boot.
I have
Bobbinz.
3,497 emails.
I got you beat.
Allie,
Yeah.
how many emails are in your inbox?
Let's look. Hey, let's see.
But a lot of this podcast, a lot of the guests on this podcast have been former members of Downtown Brown. Oh, are you doing it?
How many is it?
What's that say? Hold on, here we go. I'm trying to focus on it.
You have
That
to tap-
says
you have to tap it.
26,279.
Wow.
Allie has 26,279 unread emails.
That's really
in her
impressive.
inbox. Yeah, she's got you beat, man.
Dude, by a lot.
Yep.
Oh.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
job.
You. Thank you. Spent a long time collecting.
You spent a long time ignoring.
Yeah, ignoring
It's not
and
easy.
collecting.
You have to like put effort into ignoring. You have to choose not to open it.
Yeah, I do.
Good.
But before the email thing happened, what I was getting at is this: a lot of this podcast is an examination of, choices and what's it called when you're on a path?
Diversions?
Not diversions. No, it's there's a
sticking to the
No.
road.
what's it
ahead of you?
fucking called? My brain is.
Wait, say the sentence again from the start.
trajectory.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I was looking for. A lot of this podcast is about examining my personal trajectory and involving a lot of the people that were part of the story. I've had Harry Bob on here, I've had Don, I've had Ron, I've had,
Right.
and now you. But what's been nice is being able to examine it in a civil manner with people that used to be involved. You know, like I've remained friends. I mean, there was a time where, like, Ron and I didn't talk, and now, you know, we tell each other we love each other. I'm really happy that happened.
That's good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah. And so, like, when we chopped it up on that podcast, I think it was a really powerful experience because, you know, we're pretty open, emotional guys. And we got pretty open and pretty emotional.
I'm sure.
Yeah. You should check it out.
I should check it out. I meant to.
But, you know, I'm not offended that you haven't checked out the podcast. You're a hardworking dude. And I'm not offended that you don't play in the silly band anymore because I get it, man. So
Thanks.
And I'm glad we're friends. I know we don't see each other a whole lot, but I feel like it's all love when we do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And you're my brother, and we lived together, and we fought together, and we drove fucking everywhere, and smelled each other.
We drove from California to Michigan in 36 hours.
Oh. It actually took longer than that because you ran out of gas.
No, that's included.
No, it's 36 hours with no stops.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but we made it in like 46.
Right. Yeah, because I ran out of gas in the middle of the desert
For real?
at
Yeah.
2 in the morning.
And
And then the AAA dude got lost trying to find us.
this is the best part is because we were trading off driving. We were doing Ironman style. Like I drove for 6 hours, and then Bobbinz would catch a nap, and then he would drive for 6 hours, and then we would just switch on and off. So we wanted to like pretty much drive the entire 36 hours straight.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
would have.
But so we were in the middle of the desert. We were in Utah right before the Colorado on the 40, and fucking I wake up, and Bobbinz is like, dude, and I'm like, what's up? And he's like, it's like, I ran out of gas, and I'm all like, wow, what the fuck, Rob. And he's just like, the new van is so smooth. He's like, he's like, you just get lost.
You can't tell.
You just get lost. It's so smooth. So
It was true.
I'm all pissed off, but then we pretty much just sat there and watched the sun come up, and we just sat there and watched the sun come up, and I think I calmed down after a bit.
Now tell him what happened later on that tour.
What happened later on that tour?
Yeah, what happened later on that tour?
I don't know.
You almost ran out of gas.
Oh, because we were with Smeed.
Yeah, we were on 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause why?
Because it's so smooth.
It's just so smooth, man.
Because the van is so smooth.
just
How are you
don't
supposed to know
know.
when it runs out of gas?
The beep is so quiet.
Yeah, there is a quiet little beep that happens when you're about to run out of gas.
You
But
just
if
don't know.
But if you're not paying attention,
Is it this van?
Yeah.
it's this van. It's so smooth. This van is so smooth. Yeah, so I had to eat my words.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
funny.
Because no one's perfect, you know? Like, Bobbinz isn't perfect. I'm not perfect. And we all, you know, when you're in a band with people, you just deal with their imperfections. And you have to learn to love them even though you might butt heads sometimes, you know? But, the moral of the story is we took the journey. The van is smooth. And we're both Florida boys, or as Ron would say, California raisins.
Yeah, we're California raisins.
Yeah, he's like, my favorite California raisin, Bilbo Bobbinz.
That's what he says.
Yeah. But it went from Bilbo Bobbins to Bilbo Bibbons. No, it's Bibbons.
Yeah, that's how it is when he texts it.
Yeah, Bibbunz.
Yeah, but it's still Bobbinz.
It's Bibbins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bilbo Bibbins. But what's weird is all of Bobbins' roommates call him Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even know you as Bibbins or Bilbo or Nipple Scraps or fucking...
Nope.
What did Dick Sally used to call you? Ploppins?
Yeah. Ploppins. Fucking shout out Dick Sally.
Yeah, Dick Sally. Shouts
Sally,
out.
man. It's been a while.
Yeah, we met so many fucking cool people, and I mean, you don't get to see it, but I get all the emails and I read all the comments, and we've enriched people's lives. Like, it's not a huge amount of people, and it's not like, it's not like putting any money in anyone's pockets or anything, but like, we definitely, it isn't like we did it for nothing. Like, we are who we are and we're where we are because of what we did. And we know the people that we know also. But it's hard to see when you're not booping. But people care.
That's good.
Yeah. It's not like fucking millions of people, but fuck, we're all here.
I care.
Yeah, she cares. Allie's got this joke because I'm always just like, nobody cares. And Allie, yeah, Allie will be like, well, when you're on stage in front of nobody and I'm in the audience and you're fucking complaining about how no one cares, I'm gonna be in the audience. I'm gonna be like, I care.
Mm-hmm.
So just picture an empty room and Downtown Brown is playing, and
I'm gonna do that thing from Purple Rain.
There's one person in the audience. It's
there's
Allie.
Two people, because there's one person sitting next to her, and it's little Scotty Radway.
Oh yeah.
And little Scotty Radway sitting next to you.
Scotty Radway cares.
He cares.
He
I'm
cares.
just gonna have my sunglasses on and I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we did that one show on the East Coast, and he was the one person in the room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Bobbinz was embarrassed. I was embarrassed too.
It was rough.
We played so many shows like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was Scotty Radway from, Polka Dot. And like a
And
week
Tubbering.
before, I was like,
He was in Tubbering too.
yeah. Like, oh, it's going well, man. More people are coming. I'm feeling good.
And then you get there and he's there.
The only person.
He actually has.
Everyone's had that.
It was
moment.
brutal.
Yeah.
He's been to a couple shows where he shows up and he's the only person. He's like, so how's it going? he always shows up at the shows where there's fucking no one there. Like, the dude we want to see us do, we like want to show this dude that we're doing well.
Right.
And then he shows up at the fucking biggest dud of the whole tour every single time. Because he showed up at the Pinky Doodle tour.
Yeah?
He
yeah,
showed-
his hot girlfriend.
Because he was living in Iowa at the time. He moved from the East Coast to Iowa, and he shows
Right.
up, and we're in Des Moines, Iowa. And yeah, on that tour, a promoter came up to me, and he said, I've never had a show do as poorly as this Downtown Brown show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's real nice.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to do other shit with my time. I do Downtown Brown still, but like that's why I'm took the gig singing for Reagan Youth, and I'm doing this podcast, and I'm trying to do more art. And I took the gig with HR playing guitar. It's just like I can't. What? Yep. I can't just. I think putting all my chips into the Downtown Brown basket, I think, was a source of unhappiness for me because I was like obsessed with the idea of making it work to the point where it was everything I had. But now I have other things, like I have Downtown Brown still, but I also, I have Allie, I'm invested in, I have this podcast, I'm invested in some other shit that isn't just one thing,
Right.
Art.
That's good.
Yeah.
You gotta diversify your bonds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they say.
Wu-Tang Financial.
That's what they say.
Yeah, it's the woo.
So we're here. We're out here. I'm sweating.
I do miss it. I do miss touring in this van.
Have you played drums at all
No, not once.
since 2016?
I remember my last show. It was in Pittsburgh.
With Downtown Brown?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Pinky Doodle Poodle.
It was DTB, Pinky Doodle Poodle, and then we played with Only Flesh and the Super Fun Time Awesome Party Band.
Yep.
And that was at a place called Spirit. I remember, the tail end of that tour was rough. My dad definitely died on that tour. And instead of, Yeah, instead of going to the hospital to watch them pull the plug, I stayed on tour and just had a freak out. Poor Jack.
You know?
Poor Jack.
Yeah.
He just was kind of an innocent bystander. He kind of just watched Bobbinz and I unravel. We're better now, though.
Yeah.
I started going to therapy. I got rid of some baggage. Yeah.
I'm zooming in as close as I can on your face.
Yeah. Did you get a good zoom? I have a mustache now.
It's a fucking epic.
Yeah, Bobbinz is the first time. But you have a mustache, too.
No, it's not a mustache.
That's
No.
a mustache.
When it's connected to everything else, it's not a mustache.
Oh, it's a beard then?
It's a beard.
Okay, Bobbin's got a beard. I got a
it's a
mustache.
beard.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, his is part of the beard.
I had a
It
beard.
has to be on its own to be a mustache.
I had a beard in 2017.
'Cause even if you had
It
this
was
shit,
big.
it would be a goatee. It wouldn't be a beard or a mustache.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be isolated.
Okay, so I have a mustache.
Yeah.
It's not.
I like it.
Bobbinz does not have a mustache.
No.
Bobbinz has a beard.
Yes.
I had a beard in 2017. Allie did not like that. It's gross. She said it's gross. And Bobbinz has a beard. So, you talking shit about Bobbinz?
No, Bobbin's beard looks great.
Thanks.
She's talking shit,
Your
man.
beard was gross.
My beard was
The
gross.
first thing I said when I saw you at the Attic show, I was like, whoa, you have a beard. That's like the first thing I said.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
We need to get you a mic, Allie, because we're having all of this
I
convo.
know.
And
You
no.
can still hear me,
Maybe.
probably.
I'll try to automate it. I'll try to bump that shit.
Bump it up.
Bump it up, bump it up, bump it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Here we are. We got fucking Bobbinz. We're already an hour in, and I'm pretty sweaty. And I've been holding in farts this whole time.
Nice. Why?
Yeah, we already know you fart.
Just because it would be really gross.
Disgusting.
They would smell gross.
It's a small environment.
Yeah, remember when I used to have the Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the ozone in the car.
Oh, I used to carry around a jug of whey protein, you know, because of my seps. I would always be sepping. And that was back before
The seps.
I started relying on more like plant-based nutrition. But when Bobbinz first joined the band, I'm pretty sure I was like having like whey protein farts.
Yeah.
Like it was terrible.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think all in all, like Bobbin's introduction to me was it was like a fart apocalypse.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, I'm in a band with this fart guy now.
He sweated way more than he does now.
I was on antidepressants, that's why.
He was sweaty Neil.
Yeah. I mean, I sweat these days, but when I was on those antidepressants, yeah, I was so sweaty.
He was so sweaty.
But I got off the antidepressants in 2012.
Sweaty and
Really?
farting everywhere.
So you're only sweaty for a year?
I mean, I probably was sweaty after that, but it was a big change in sweatiness.
That year was so sweaty. It made such an impact.
It was a sweaty year, yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So much sweat.
Yeah, 2012, I got off the fucking antidepressants, and I became fully non-medicated insane person. We smoked a lot of joints, though, back when I
Yeah.
was smoking. I don't really smoke weed anymore.
So many joints.
The last time I smoked weed at your house was with your old roommate, and I had like a fucking really bad panic attack. I hit the bong once, and I had a terrible panic attack. But this summer, I got back into cannabis a little bit. I was like eating edibles every day, and I was smoking like some kind of like mid-grade, like shake.
Right?
You know, they give you those pre-rolls for free, like when you go into a dispensary, but it's like not the top quality shit.
Right.
That I was smoking those like all the time, and it didn't really get you that fucked up because it's not that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was smoking that. But then I did the podcast with Norwood, and I kind of just stopped smoking weed after the Norwood podcast, because Norwood kind of explained why he doesn't smoke weed, and it like made a lot of sense to me. And now my tolerance is so low that I'm thinking about it. I'm like, should I try getting high with Phil? Allie says no, but I'm thinking about it. When I was out with HR, I smoked a little weed with the boys, I got really fucked up. My tolerance is so low.
It's pretty strong weed.
So low.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
That's the thing is if you don't smoke weed for like months and months and months, like you take a couple hits, like you'll fucking the weed is strong, and then your tolerance is non-existent. You get just super fucked up. And I'm a super anxious guy, so.
You're gonna be driving too much. You're gonna be really caffeinated.
Oh, just like, yeah.
Ultra calf.
But that remember that tour we did in 2012, the first Psycho Stick West Coast tour when we were out in Montana and whatnot, and we were just driving around and just joint after joint after joint.
Listening to the Labyrinth soundtrack.
Listening to the Labyrinth soundtrack over and over and over.
Tim and Eric, awesome job, great. Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job soundtrack.
So, you know the Dixboro apartments?
Yeah,
that
you
David,
went there,
yeah.
didn't you?
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. David Liebe Hart sings about my son Chip was stolen from a block. My black son Chip was stolen from a box at the Dixboro's apartments, and then he sings the father and son. But I actually went to his apartment, and he tried selling us David Liebe Hart merch, and it was really kind of sad. He just talked about how Tim and Eric don't hire him anymore and how he's struggling. But we went to his house, me and Captain Jack.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of sad. Poor David Liebe Hart. But he's still doing his thing. He's hustling. He's out there. He's selling his merch.
Good for him.
But every time I hear that from that first season of Tim and Eric, I hear that father and son song, I think of my friend Bobbinz. It's true.
It's a great song.
Because when we would be driving around in the van smoking lots of joints, Bobbinz would do the I would sing the David Liebe Hart part, and he would sing the
Chip.
My son Chip.
That would be Chip.
Yeah. We're gonna want the best for my child.
I want to grow up and be wild.
I'm the best dad.
No, I'm the best son.
No, I'm the best dad.
No, I'm the best son.
I'm the best dad.
You're the worst dad.
So just call it. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, before we leave here, because I think we should wrap it up. I'm like really sweaty. But Bobbinz does.
No.
You don't want to do it?
No.
He does.
It's not happening.
He does the best Axl Rose impression.
I can't do it. It's been too long, man. You're gonna put me on the spot like that.
It's and it's not even that it's the best Axl Rose impression.
It is though.
But it is though. You don't want to. You don't want to do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it not to its justice.
So we would drive around, and I have a thing for Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion too, because when I was a little kid, like Slash and Axl Rose were like gods to me. But come to find out that music hasn't aged very well in the last 30 years, and so I would listen to it and just be on this nostalgia trip and be like, and fucking, and then Bobbinz would go, just making fun of it. And,
I love that one song where it just ends with him doing that.
Yeah, the song "Don't Cry."
He just doesn't
goes,
stop. Longer. It just keeps going.
It's really long. Don't cry.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, don't cry.
But one time when we were headlining Willie Fest the first time,
Yeah.
I came up and did the Axl Rose in front of everybody.
Oh, there's an actual live recording of that.
Oh, nice.
If you can find it, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna find it because I'm gonna get my fucking clip.
Because that was a good one too.
Oh, you did? Because he goes,
I was
Bobbinz
doing Sweet Child, right?
Bobbinz goes, knock, knock, knocking on every door. Knock, knock, knocking on every door. Yeah, I don't even do it as good as Bobbinz, but I'm gonna find that clip. Knock, knock, knocking on every door. Hi, 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 hi. I'm like doing an impression of Bobbinz doing an impression of Axl Rose.
It's probably better than
probably,
Axl Rose.
It's probably better that way.
It's better than Axl Rose.
Oh man, yeah.
He sucks. Yeah.
Well, I still love Axl, but He's definitely not the Axl he used to be.
Nah.
But
He ate that guy.
That's so mean. Bobbinz in here fat shaming.
Actual burn.
Bobbinz.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I've been waiting a while to pull that one out.
Yeah. He's not the Axl he used to be. Oh, he ate that guy.
Fucking fatty.
Oh, man. Bobbin's a fat shamer.
Yeah, I hate fat people.
Okay, here we go.
I want to add to this I hate Axl Rose meeting real quick.
Sweet.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
So I
he
went and saw
sucks.
Billy Joel. Okay, not much better, I guess.
Well,
But I love Billy Joel. Went and saw him at the Rose Bowl. And then Axl fucking Rose came out
no way.
and did one of the encore songs. And everyone went ape shit. And I was like, boo!
Yeah.
Get the fuck off the stage! And he like ruined the song. He even knew it. Like there's one part where he forgot the lyrics and he was like, oops. And I was like, bring back Billy Joel. That was bullshit.
Was he the only one booing?
Oh no, I booed the whole time. The whole time. I needed the only one song.
But were you
Oh.
the only one booing?
Yeah,
I was the
we-
only one booing. Yeah, yeah.
Good for
Everyone
you.
else was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, Axl,
Yeah.
do your snake dance."
Yeah, I was the only one booing. It was like, no!
Billy Joel.
Big shot.
Oh, was it that song?
he fucked it up.
Big shot. Don't
Yeah, I was like-
you let me know. And you know what big shot. I forgot the fucking words.
It's pretty good.
And you know what the big shot. I was like, boo! Boo this man!
Billy Joel!
You're fat!
Shut up.
Shut up, fatty! See, we can make fat jokes because I'm fat.
Not as fat as Axl though.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, until I eat the old version of myself, I will never be as fat as I have the potential of being.
Well, you were fatter than Axl Rose could ever be.
When?
Before I knew you.
Yeah, I was a big fat guy.
Yeah.
But then.
You were a big fat fuck.
Oh, the big fat fuck. Feeling like a big fat fuck. Big fat fuck.
Yep.
I miss Ron.
Me too, man.
When's he gonna come visit?
Soon, hopefully.
He always talks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna come visit you, California raisins. Has he sent you any of the new Drown stuff?
Send me some of it.
Has he sent you the one that sounds like Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Where he's all like talking the whole time? It's good.
It is good.
Don's getting good at Ableton at the...
The recording
Yeah,
program.
he's getting really good at it. Because, yeah. Shouts out to Drawn.
Drawn, yeah.
Drawn, yeah.
Their first CDs in my car.
I love it.
Yeah.
I got to play bass for one show for them.
I love that the end of it is just the thing double fast and then double slow.
Nordion. Every time I think about the 69 minutes of music, I just think of
13 Golden Country Greats.
no, I just think of the way on the Ron podcast, the way he says Nordion. I can't do it. I have to
Well-
plug my nose. Nordion.
I don't get it.
He just that's the name of the song.
Oh, it's called Nordion.
Yeah, it's the name of the song that it's all the songs playing at once backwards.
Right.
You know, at the very end of the 69 minute, yeah. Nordion.
What does that mean?
It's what the song's called.
What does Nordion mean spelled backwards?
It's Drawn spelled backwards.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Nordion.
That's some
Nord
wrong
is
shit.
Drawn spelled. But so I edit all these podcasts and I do all the video editing and whatnot. So when there's little bits of audio that stick with me in my head
So
forever.
it'll be playing that right now.
I mean, I could grab it if I wanted to, but just when you're doing video editing, you're like playing things over and over again.
Oh, right.
And then so pretty much when these podcast episodes come out, I probably listen to the whole thing all the way through like at least 3 or 4 times.
Jesus.
Just because I'm editing it, I'm
Right.
automating the audio, I'm making sure all the levels are good. It's a long process. That's why you should
Click subscribe and like and all that shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Listen to Bobbinz here. And check out the Patreon and all that.
The patriarch.
Check out the Patriarch.
Yeah.
I'm Neil Patterson, the Patriarch. Bobbinz is the matriarch of this van.
Yeah.
And we're here. We're a family. We brought you this van.
We brought you this podcast.
We brought you this podcast. So, yeah, I think we said about 15 minutes ago that we were going to wrap it up. So, I think, should we wrap it up? I need to fart really bad.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I love you, bud.
I love you too.
I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we did it all.
I'm glad we did it too. So, you're happy to be in California?
I like California. It doesn't snow here.
So, Bobbinz, man. Bobbinz and I are Californians.
Yeah, man.
I just got my insurance packet.
Nice. I don't have insurance.
I
I've
was-
never had insurance.
Yeah, just
Actually.
don't get that corona, baby.
Coronas are pretty good, though.
Don't drink that coronavirus.
You gotta go in public to get that shit.
Oh, yeah, Bobbinz don't go in public. Bobbinz don't boop. Bobbinz don't go in public. He just chills with Keith and watches basketball.
Yeah. If you don't boop, you won't get sick at all. You'll live forever.
Yeah, stay off social media.
It's good for your health.
And I don't know what else to say.
Bye.
Yeah, on the first SUPcast, I was talking about Bobbinz. We used to say sup so much,
Sup.
and sup became a thing.
That's how it started.
It started just on tour, right?
Yeah. Sup. Sup, Ma.
Sup,
Started with
Ma.
Sup, Ma.
Sup, Ma.
Ma, what's up, Ma?
Yeah, and then Ma became a thing. You invented Ma.
And Sup.
You-
Like, no one can take credit for inventing Sup.
I don't think you invented sup, but definitely you said sup like so much. Sup. You would do this.
Sup, Ma.
Sup,
Sup.
Ma. It's before Sud, dude, really.
Yeah, it was before Sup, dude.
It was
'Cause I got
before-
pissed off when they started doing that.
It's pretty much sup, Ma is like Sud,
It's
dude.
our dude. It's our Sup.
It's our version of Sud, dude. But
First.
but it's like just you're so lazy. You don't say what's up, man. You just say so Ma.
Sup, Ma.
So Ma. Just not fuck saying what's up, man. You're just that lazy and stoned.
Yep.
So Ma.
Ma.
Look at us now. Still Ma's after all these years.
Still Ma's. So many Ma's.
Dude, there are so many Ma's. And shouts out to all the Ma's.
Shouts out to the Ma's.
All right, we're going to end this. I'm sweaty. We did an hour and 18 minutes. We got it, baby. Love you,
Peace.
Bobbinz.
I love you, Ma.
Thanks for doing this, Ma.
Yo.
Sup, Ma. On the count of three, let's get a sup, Ma. 1, 2, 3.
Sup, Ma.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
You gotta end it with that, though.
Yeah.
Just gotta, like, fade out with
Yeah,
that.
here we go. Go for a good one.
No, it goes. I don't feel
That
so
was
well there.
terrible. That was a bad one.
I'm trying to do the whole thing.
Bobbinz has to do it now.
No, it's...
Go.
No.
Little bug.
It hurts.
Yeah, don't fuck
I-
yourself up.
Take a clip from the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You were killing it earlier.
I was doing it better.
You're
Yeah, my
doing
voice
so
hurts.
good.
I've been talking too much.
Okay, I'm turning it off.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.